Have you ever asked yourself not just how long you'll live, but how well you'll live in the years ahead? What if your body has already been giving you quiet signals about how much time you truly have left in good health? Today, we'll help you decode those signals before they become something you can't ignore. Have you ever wondered how many truly good years you still have ahead? Not in a vague or dramatic way, but based on how your body is actually functioning right now? The truth is, your body is always communicating with you. It shows you, in small but consistent ways, whether it's operating at full strength or silently beginning to wear down. The problem? Most people don't notice those signals until they've already become serious. And by then, their best chance to intervene may have already slipped by. That's why learning to spot these early signs is so important, because recognizing them today could mean the difference between spending the next 5 years merely getting by or enjoying a vibrant, energetic decade ahead. In this video, we're going to explore 7 clear signs that offer genuine insight into how many healthy years you may still have in front of you. These aren't minor symptoms or random health quirks. These are patterns recognized by doctors, researchers, and aging specialists used to evaluate long-term wellness and resilience, especially in people over 60. From how you walk to how quickly you recover after illness, these signs reveal a story. It's a story your body has likely been telling you for a while, sometimes in whispers, sometimes in frustration. And here's the good news. Even if one or more of these signs feels familiar to you, that doesn't mean it's too late. Many of them can be improved with the right changes. So, whether you're concerned about your own future or you're supporting someone you love through the aging process, stay with us until the very end. Because the 7th sign we'll share is often the most overlooked, and yet it may quietly predict more about your future than anything else. Let's begin. Sign number 1. Unshakable fatigue that doesn't improve with rest. It's one thing to feel tired after a long day or a restless night. That's normal. But it's something entirely different when that exhaustion becomes your baseline, when you wake up each morning still feeling drained, heavy, or sluggish, no matter how many hours you slept or how little you exerted yourself the day before. This kind of persistent fatigue isn't just about being low on sleep. It's your body waving a red flag, signaling that your internal systems, your energy metabolism, your hormones, even your cellular repair processes might be under stress or slowing down. Persistent exhaustion isn't just one of those things that comes with getting older. It can be your body's quiet, almost pleading way of saying, "I'm struggling to keep up." This isn't the kind of tired that fades after a nap or a slow afternoon. It lingers. And while it might not knock you off your feet, it can subtly chip away at your energy, clarity, and motivation. Often, this type of chronic fatigue points to something deeper going on inside. Low-grade inflammation, hormone imbalances, hidden cardiovascular strain, or the early signs of organ function starting to dip below optimal. And the tricky part? It's not always dramatic. It might show up as moving slower than usual, needing an extra hour of rest in the middle of the day, or feeling mentally foggy in ways that never used to happen. But over time, these seemingly minor signals start to add up. Your body relies on energy, not just the kind you feel, but the kind your cells produce. Deep within each cell are mitochondria, tiny engines that power everything from your heartbeat to your thinking. As you age, and especially under the weight of poor nutrition, lack of movement, or chronic stress, those engines start to slow down. And when that happens, the entire system suffers. Your heart, your brain, your immunity, they all take a hit. I remember talking to Harold, a 75-year-old, who had always enjoyed short morning walks. One year, he started skipping them, not because of joint pain or weather, but because he simply didn't have the drive to get out of bed. He assumed it was just part of aging, but after some routine blood work, doctors found he had borderline anemia and low thyroid function. With just a few changes to his diet and medications, his energy returned. He wasn't lazy. His body was signaling distress, and once he listened, it responded. That's the key point here. If you're dealing with fatigue that doesn't fade, that sticks around even after a restful night or an easy day. Don't brush it off. It might not just be tiredness. It might be your body sending up a flare, letting you know something deeper needs attention. Fatigue isn't a diagnosis on its own, but it's often one of the first red flags that your body's systems, especially the ones that keep you sharp, mobile, and independent, are starting to slow down. And here's another powerful fact. Studies show that people in their 60s or 70s who report ongoing fatigue are statistically more likely to develop serious health issues in the next 5 to 10 years. Things like heart disease, cognitive decline, and loss of mobility. That doesn't mean fatigue causes these problems, but it often shows up long before they do, like a shadow arriving ahead of the storm. If this sounds familiar, take it seriously. Don't wait. Talk to your doctor, get your blood tested, and take a look at your everyday habits: how much water you drink, what you're eating, how often you move, and how well you manage stress. Even the smallest improvements in those areas can lead to a noticeable lift in how you feel and how many healthy years you might gain in return. When you start improving those small daily habits, your nutrition, your activity, your sleep, your stress, you give your body the chance to bounce back. Energy levels can return, and in many cases, the aging process slows down more than you ever expected. Because let's be honest, you deserve more than just waking up each morning. You deserve to feel alive. Sign 2. Unexplained weight loss, especially when it involves muscle. In a society that often praises thinness, many people mistakenly believe that losing weight is always a good sign. But in older adults, especially if the weight loss is unintentional, it could be an early alarm bell, one that too often goes ignored. What's even more concerning is when that weight loss includes muscle mass. Because that's not just a cosmetic change. That's a signal from deep inside the body that something vital might be going wrong. It's normal to lose some muscle with age, but when it happens quickly, or without any significant changes to your diet or activity levels, it might be your body's way of saying it's struggling to absorb nutrients, manage inflammation, or repair tissue properly. And make no mistake, muscle isn't just about strength or appearance. It plays a critical role in regulating your metabolism, supporting your immune function, and keeping your organs performing as they should. At first, you might not think much of it. Your pants feel a bit looser, or maybe your shirt fits differently. You tighten your belt another notch and shrug it off. Then, one day, you glance in the mirror and see thinner arms or a softer jawline. Your legs might feel less steady. Your posture begins to round forward. These are more than just aging quirks. They're physical clues that your muscle reserves may be fading. Take Frank, a 78-year-old retired teacher who always prided himself on eating light and staying slim. Over the span of a year, without any deliberate change in his routine, he dropped 18 pounds. At first, he wasn't concerned. He didn't feel sick, but he did notice it was harder to rise from the couch, carry groceries, or keep his balance during a walk. When he finally sought help, a scan showed a significant drop in muscle density. His blood work revealed low protein intake and a vitamin D deficiency. The good news? With some simple dietary changes and the addition of light resistance exercises, just using elastic bands, Frank gradually regained his strength. His energy came back, his balance improved, his confidence returned. And it all started with recognizing that muscle loss wasn't just about appearance. It was about health, resilience, and independence. This condition, known as sarcopenia, is one of the most powerful predictors of future frailty, risk of falls, and even hospitalization in older adults. And what makes it so dangerous is how silently it creeps in. There's usually no pain, no sharp symptom, just a slow, quiet decline, like a house settling into the earth. And here's the part that really matters. Research has consistently shown that older adults with higher muscle mass live longer, healthier lives than those with significant muscle loss, even if both weigh the same on the scale. That's right. It's not just about how much you weigh, but what you're made of. So if you've noticed your weight dropping without trying, or if your limbs feel softer, weaker, or less responsive, don't ignore it. Talk to your doctor. Look at your protein intake. Consider gentle strength training. Because when it comes to aging well, maintaining muscle isn't optional, it's essential. Older adults with lower muscle mass and diminished strength often face a higher risk of mortality. But it's not simply the lack of muscle that's the problem. It's what that loss represents. A body that's steadily losing strength is often one that's also losing its resilience, the ability to recover from illness, to fend off infections, and to adapt to physical or emotional stress. It's a deeper warning that something important may be slipping away. So what can you do about it? First, don't assume that losing weight without trying is a good thing. If the number on the scale keeps dropping and you're not actively changing your eating or activity habits, that could be a silent red flag. Speak with your doctor and rule out any underlying issues. Second, make protein a priority at every meal: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. As we age, our bodies need more protein just to maintain muscle, not even build it. And third, move your body in ways that build, not just burn muscle mass. Even light resistance training, like using resistance bands or bodyweight exercises, sends your body an essential signal: stay strong, stay ready. It's true that shedding excess fat can add years to your life. But losing muscle, especially without meaning to, might quietly be taking those years away, one unnoticed step at a time. If you're still here and finding this information helpful, drop a comment with the number 2 so I know you're with us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd recommend hitting that button and turning on the notification bell so you never miss a future video. Your support allows us to keep creating meaningful, research-backed content designed to inform and empower you on your health journey. Now, let's keep moving. Sign number 3, slower walking speed and reduced gait strength. At first glance, how fast you walk might seem like a trivial detail, just part of getting older, right? But here's the surprising truth. Walking speed has become one of the most reliable and powerful predictors of overall longevity. In the world of geriatric medicine, it's sometimes referred to as the 6th vital sign. And researchers have confirmed it again and again. The slower your natural pace becomes, the more it may reveal about your overall health and even how many healthy years you have left. Now, this doesn't mean you need to be sprinting down the sidewalk or chasing Olympic records. What really matters is your normal, comfortable walking speed, the way you move through your day without even thinking. If you've noticed that pace slowing down, if you've started shuffling more, hesitating before climbing stairs, or needing more frequent rest breaks, these subtle shifts could be your body's early warnings. Walking is not just a leg movement, it's a full-body coordination effort. It requires the brain, muscles, joints, balance centers, and cardiovascular system to work together smoothly. So when your walking starts to decline, it may not just be about tired legs. It could be hinting at cognitive decline, joint stiffness, weakened cardiovascular function, or even neurological changes happening quietly under the surface. Even a drop in confidence can show up in the way you walk. Your gait reflects much more than movement. It reveals how connected and coordinated your internal systems truly are. Researchers have found strong links between slower walking speeds and increased risks of early death, heart disease, cognitive decline, and even hospitalizations. Take Walter, for instance. At 82, he was proud of his independence. He still shopped for groceries, tended his garden, and handled most of his daily tasks alone. But his daughter noticed something subtle. When they walked together, he started lagging behind. His steps were shorter, his movements hesitant. He hadn't noticed anything wrong himself, but her concern led him to visit his doctor. That checkup revealed mild neuropathy in his feet and a slight dip in his oxygen levels whenever he walked. These weren't things Walter could feel directly, but his walking speed had quietly told the truth his body hadn't yet voiced. With a few small changes, some new medications, and a basic walking program, Walter regained much of the control and confidence he had lost without realizing it. Walking speed matters so much because it represents the harmony, or breakdown, of multiple systems working together. When your natural pace begins to slow, it's rarely a single cause. It's usually a blend of factors: balance challenges, joint stiffness, decreased vision, weakened circulation, reduced muscle power, or even slowed mental processing. That's why doctors often use something as simple as a timed walking test to assess overall health and predict long-term outcomes in patients over 60. And the changes can be so subtle that you hardly notice. You may still get around, still run errands, still live your life, but it's not quite the same. Maybe you take a break halfway through the grocery store. Maybe the walk to the mailbox now seems longer. Maybe you start avoiding uneven sidewalks just to be safe. What once felt automatic now requires a little extra thought, and maybe a little hesitation. But this isn't just about comfort or convenience. It's about resilience. Those who maintain a brisk and steady walking pace are often better equipped to bounce back from illness, surgery, or injury. Their bodies stay more adaptable, more prepared to meet life's sudden demands. So if you've noticed a shift in your pace, if your steps feel slower, shorter, or less confident, don't panic. But don't shrug it off either. Start paying attention. Track how far and how fast you walk. Notice when you start to tire. Talk to your doctor or a physical therapist about any changes you're seeing. And above all, keep moving. Even short, intentional walks done daily send a powerful message to your body and brain. You're still strong, still in control, and still going somewhere. Because you are. Getting sick now and then is just part of being human. But when you start noticing that every little cold seems to find you, that a small cut takes forever to heal, or that you're reaching for antibiotics more often than you used to, it may be your body's quiet way of warning you your immune system might be slowing down. And that matters more than most people realize, because immune strength is directly tied to how many solid, healthy years you might still have ahead. Your immune system works like your personal defense force, always on guard and ready to fight off invaders. In youth, it's fast, sharp, and reliable. But as we age, that defense naturally begins to weaken in a process known as immunosenescence. This gradual decline is one of the reasons older adults are more prone to infections, take longer to recover, and face higher risks from illnesses that younger people bounce back from in just a few days. But here's the thing. Not every immune system ages the same way. Some people in their 70s still have strong, responsive immune health, while others begin to experience problems as early as their 60s. So what separates the two? Often, it's how well the body has been supported through nutrition, rest, and lifestyle habits. One of the clearest red flags that your system may be wearing down faster than it should is how frequently, how long, and how intensely you get sick. Take Susan, age 71, for example. She'd always considered herself healthy, but within a single year, she dealt with 3 separate urinary tract infections, a nagging cough that stuck around for weeks, and then a bout of shingles that caught her completely off guard. She didn't feel fragile, but something had clearly changed. After a thorough checkup, her doctor found that her vitamin D levels were too low, her white blood cells weren't responding as they should, and inflammation in her body was elevated. Through targeted nutrition, immune-supporting habits, and prioritizing rest, Susan managed to rebuild her defenses and reclaim a sense of stability. Her story isn't rare, and it highlights an important truth. Getting sick more often isn't random. It's a signal. Unfortunately, many older adults dismiss it as just aging, when in reality, it can often be improved or managed with the right care and awareness. Another critical clue? Needing much longer to bounce back from what used to be simple illnesses. If a cold turns into a 3-week ordeal, or a short stomach bug leaves you feeling drained for days, that sluggish recovery is another sign your immune system may not be keeping pace anymore. And here's the deeper concern. A weakened immune system doesn't just mean more colds. It quietly leaves you more vulnerable to everything from chronic inflammation to serious infections. It also weakens your body's ability to recover from surgery, control inflammation, and keep abnormal cells, like cancer cells, from developing unchecked. That's why supporting your immune health is not just about preventing colds. It's one of the most powerful tools you have to extend your lifespan and protect your quality of life. Here's the good news. Even as you age, you're far from powerless. Your immune system can still be supported and strengthened through intentional choices. Prioritizing deep, consistent sleep allows your body to repair itself. Managing stress helps prevent immune-suppressing hormones from lingering in your system. Whole foods rich in antioxidants, think berries, leafy greens, colorful vegetables, nourish your body at the cellular level. And regular movement, even light walking or stretching, helps circulate immune cells more efficiently through your body. Don't overlook the role of medical care either. Keeping up with vaccinations, getting regular blood tests, and addressing any nutrient deficiencies, especially vitamin D and zinc, can be game changers. These small adjustments, done consistently, can help you stay resilient. If you find that you're getting sick more often than those around you, it's not something to shrug off as just getting older. It's a message from your body. Investigate it, understand it, take action. Because when your immune system starts speaking up, it's your future that's quietly asking for your attention. If you're still with us and finding value in this conversation, please comment number 4 below to let us know you're here. And if you haven't yet subscribed, now's a great time. Turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Your support means a lot and helps us keep bringing you thoughtful, informative content. Now let's move ahead. Sign 5. A noticeable loss of interest in life or gradual emotional withdrawal. There's a subtle but powerful shift that can take place as people age. One that doesn't show up on a blood test, but can tell you more about someone's overall health than numbers ever could. It's not just physical fatigue or forgetfulness, it's when someone begins to slowly detach from life itself. They stop calling their friends. The hobbies they once loved are quietly abandoned. Hours pass without any spark of curiosity, joy, or meaningful interaction. Days begin to blur together. It may look like calmness on the outside, but beneath that stillness is often something more serious. This emotional withdrawal is one of the clearest signs that something deeper may be happening. Not just mentally, but physically too. While we often focus on aging as a process that affects the body, the truth is that it frequently begins in the mind. When your sense of purpose fades, your connection to others weakens, or your desire to engage disappears, your physical health often follows closely behind. Studies consistently link chronic low mood and social withdrawal with everything from increased inflammation to faster memory loss and higher mortality rates. It's not just feeling blue. It's a real measurable decline in resilience and longevity. Consider James, 80, who used to spend Thursday afternoons playing cards with friends and Sunday mornings sipping coffee at his favorite local cafe. Then, gradually, James began turning down invitations. He said he was tired or just didn't feel up to it. At first, his daughter assumed it was normal aging, just her father slowing down. But underneath those quiet refusals, James was battling the early stages of depression, a condition that often hides in plain sight among older adults. It doesn't always show up as sadness. Sometimes it appears as apathy, disengagement, or an emotional numbness that creeps in silently. With time, gentle encouragement, a little professional support, and the right medication, James slowly began re-engaging with his old routines. Not everything came back overnight, but bit by bit, his light returned. That small spark was enough to make a meaningful difference, not just to him, but to everyone around him. What this reveals is powerful. Emotional withdrawal isn't just a passing mood or a harmless personality shift. It's often a biological signal that deeper systems may be under strain. Dopamine regulation, nervous system activity, circadian rhythms. These are just a few of the brain-body mechanisms that can begin to falter. Another major warning sign? No longer looking forward to things. When someone loses that internal pull toward daily pleasures, whether it's chatting with a friend, tending a garden, or even enjoying a warm cup of coffee, it's not just disinterest. It's a red flag. That emotional flatness can quietly spiral into reduced appetite, inactivity, loneliness, and even weakened immune function. Now, This isn't about forcing happiness or pretending to be upbeat all the time. It's about staying emotionally plugged into life in some way, through family, creativity, nature, faith, community, whatever brings a sense of connection and meaning. Because just like nutrition and exercise, emotional engagement plays a vital role in keeping both mind and body resilient. If you've noticed a loved one slowly drifting away from the things they once cared about, don't assume it's just age. Reach out, suggest a walk together, open up a lighthearted conversation, encourage sunlight, movement, shared meals, and laughter, even in small doses. The brain thrives on stimulation, purpose, and connection. And remember this, when someone begins to stop caring about life, life has a way of fading from them too. But with just a little attention, support, and timely care, that downward shift can be reversed. Often, it just takes one person noticing and taking action. Sign 6. Slower recovery from minor illnesses or injuries. Do you remember when a cold used to pass in 2 or 3 days? When a bruise barely registered before it faded? Or when a scraped knee healed almost overnight? For many, those days are long gone. What used to be quick and simple now lingers. A mild cold might drag on for 2 weeks. A bruise stays sore far longer than expected. A minor cut seems to take forever to close up. These delays aren't dramatic, but they are telling. And if you're paying attention, they might be revealing more than you think. It's a signal that your body's repair systems are feeling the strain, running low on essential energy, nutrients, or overall resilience. Recovery time, though often overlooked, is actually one of the clearest windows into your long-term health. It reveals just how efficiently your body handles everyday wear and tear. And it's not only about how quickly a cut closes or a bruise fades, it's about the harmony between your immune system, circulation, and cellular repair functions. When those systems aren't working in sync, your body's ability to bounce back becomes slower and less effective. And if small injuries are taking longer to heal, what happens when something more serious comes along, like a surgery, infection, or even a high-stress emotional event? Let's talk about Evelyn, 77 years old, who lightly sprained her wrist after stepping off a curb. It didn't seem like much at the time, but weeks later, she still couldn't lift a coffee mug without discomfort. Her doctor noted more than just some lingering swelling. He saw delayed tissue healing. After a deeper look into her lifestyle, it turned out she wasn't getting enough protein, her collagen levels were low, and she was consistently underhydrated. Once she made a few key adjustments, improving her diet, boosting hydration, and starting light physical therapy, not only did her wrist start healing faster, but she noticed her overall strength and energy improve too. The lesson here? If you're noticing that your body takes longer to recover than it used to, don't shrug it off. It might be pointing to something deeper. Often, it's not something dramatic. It could be a shortage of protein, poor quality sleep, low levels of critical nutrients like vitamin C, D, or zinc, or even unaddressed chronic stress quietly wearing you down from within. There's another important factor: chronic inflammation. It's like a silent roadblock in your healing process. If you're living with arthritis, high blood sugar, or that constant sense of fatigue, those conditions could be slowing down your ability to repair even the smallest injuries. And let's not forget circulation. Proper blood flow is your body's delivery system for healing, bringing oxygen and nutrients exactly where they're needed. But when circulation is sluggish, recovery slows too. That's why staying hydrated, reducing excess sodium, and making time for light walking can have a surprisingly big impact on your body's healing power. Because in the end, healing isn't just about mending what's broken. It's a direct reflection of how alive, responsive, and adaptable your body still is. The faster you heal, the more life your body is ready to live. The less energy your body has to manage everything else. The longer your healing takes, the more internal resources are drained just trying to restore balance. And that gradual shift, although easy to overlook, can quietly reduce the number of strong, high-quality years you still have ahead. Even if you're still getting around and staying independent, delayed healing is a message you don't want to ignore. So pay close attention to what your body is telling you. If it's taking longer to bounce back from everyday issues, a bruise, a sore muscle, a common cold, it's time to ask yourself, what might be missing? Is it proper nutrition, quality rest, essential nutrients? The earlier you respond with care and support, the better your body will perform in the face of more serious challenges down the line. Because healing from the small things is never just about the small things. It's a preview of how your body will handle the big ones. Nourish it, move it gently, rest it well, and listen when it whispers for help. If you're still with me and finding this information helpful, please comment number 6 below so I know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so and hit the bell icon. That way, you won't miss any future videos. Your support allows us to continue creating content that informs, empowers, and uplifts. Now, let's move ahead. Sign 7. Frequent feelings of emptiness or disconnection. You can be in a room full of people and still feel utterly alone. You can go through your daily motions, eat, sleep, scroll through the news, watch your favorite show, and still feel like something is missing, like you're not truly living. That quiet sense of hollowness, that strange emotional vacuum, it matters more than you think. If that feeling rings true for you, please don't dismiss it. That emptiness could be one of the clearest emotional signals that something in your life needs to shift. And this isn't just about mental health. It's also about your physical well-being and long-term vitality. Aging often brings major changes: retirement, the loss of a spouse, children moving away, health setbacks. All of these can erode the structures that once gave you meaning and a reason to get out of bed with purpose. But when that feeling of disconnection lingers too long, it begins to affect not just your mood, but your biology. Modern science now confirms what many wise elders have always suspected. Chronic loneliness can be more damaging to your lifespan than obesity, smoking, or even heart disease. And here's the surprising part. It's not just about how many people are around you. It's about feeling valued, feeling heard, feeling like you still matter. Let me tell you about George. Age 81, he lived in a well-kept retirement community with friendly neighbors and scheduled activities every week. On paper, he had what many would call a good life. But one day, he looked at me and said, "I feel like I'm fading." Not because of illness or pain, but because no one truly needed him anymore. Being needed, that's what makes the real difference. When that feeling fades, it leaves behind something deeply unsettling. Feeling unneeded is one of the most corrosive experiences in later life. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens quietly, slowly, when your role in the lives of others starts to shrink. When no one calls to ask your advice anymore. When no one leans on you for guidance or strength. And piece by piece, it starts to erode your will to keep going. Without that internal drive, without that sense of being useful, everything else begins to slow down. Your metabolism, your immune system, even your interest in food, movement, or trying new things. And the tiredness that comes with it? It's not just physical. It's that deeper emotional exhaustion that no nap can fix. A kind of soul fatigue that quietly pulls you inward and makes you feel like you're just existing, not living. And when that emptiness sets in, the temptation is often to retreat further. To convince yourself you just don't want to be a burden, that there's no point in reaching out. But ironically, that's the exact moment when you need connection the most. Not shallow conversation or polite exchanges, but real, meaningful connection. To be heard, to be seen, to be valued. Not just for who you were, but for who you still are right now. So what can you do? Start by asking yourself a simple but powerful question. When was the last time I felt truly alive? What lit you up inside? What made you feel useful, appreciated, or excited? Maybe it was teaching a neighbor's grandchild how to fish. Maybe it was baking a pie for someone recovering from surgery. Maybe it was telling a story that made someone laugh. These moments, they are not small. They are life-giving. They remind us that we still matter, Consider stepping into something that reaches beyond your own world. Volunteer, mentor, share your wisdom, create something meaningful. Because every time you reach out, you also reach inward, expanding your spirit, your purpose, and your resilience. It's not the number of people around you that defines a rich life. It's the number of lives you touch. So if you've been carrying a quiet sense of emptiness or emotional drift, don't dismiss it as just a phase. It's your soul sending a message that deserves to be heard. Because this feeling, if left unaddressed, can shape not just the quality of your life, but the quantity of days you'll truly enjoy. You deserve more than just time. You deserve connection, purpose, and joy in the days ahead. We often look to charts and statistics to guess how many years we might have left. Life expectancy tables, medical metrics, risk calculators. But sometimes, the most honest clues aren't in the numbers. They're in the quiet moments. They're in how you feel when your feet first hit the floor in the morning, in the way your eyes light up or don't when you talk about something you love, in the posture you carry when no one's watching. These are the subtle signals that speak volumes. The 7 signs we've explored together today aren't fixed predictions. They're not set in stone, and they don't come with expiration dates. They're invitations, yes, even warnings, but more importantly, they're reminders. They remind us that no matter your age, you are still shaping your future. You still have agency, you still have a voice, and you still have the power to influence the direction of your life. Many people quietly carry the fear that time is running out too quickly. And when that fear becomes heavy, it's easy to give in, to stop putting in effort, to stop engaging, to stop dreaming. But if you hear only one thing today, let it be this: you are not finished, not even close. There's more ahead, not just more time, but more life, more quality, more meaning, more connection. If one of these signs touched a nerve, let it be a wake-up call, not a source of despair. Let it stir something inside you. Maybe it's time to get your body moving again. Maybe it's time to nourish your spirit, hydrate your cells, or reconnect with someone who lights you up. Even the smallest actions, a walk around the block, a moment of gratitude, a fresh glass of water, can shift your entire trajectory. The body listens, the mind adapts, and the heart, with a little encouragement, can remember how to hope again. Here's a gentle challenge for you. Choose just one thing from today's list. Not all 7, just one. But take it seriously. Give it your full attention, your energy, your care. Whether it's moving your body a bit more, paying closer attention to your sleep, reconnecting with someone you've lost touch with, or simply drinking more water, one shift can create ripples. You might be surprised at how quickly a little intention can breathe life back into your days. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about showing up for yourself in one small, consistent way. Thank you for spending this time with us today. We'd truly love to hear from you. In the comments below, share one insight you gained and how you might put it into practice in your own life. Your experiences, thoughts, and reflections mean more than you know. Every comment not only encourages us, it builds a community of people supporting one another toward healthier, more meaningful lives. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could benefit from it. Your support helps us keep producing valuable content that informs, uplifts, and empowers. Wishing you good health, deep happiness, and peaceful days ahead. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. There's much more to come.